Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while. I've been a little busy. Been working on here. Just let me turn you around. I've been working on that for the last little while and selling a house and moving. So I haven't had a chance to do one of these videos for a while. So I thought I'd best get at it now. Sitting in the backyard, a little area here, a little makeshift tent over here to help keep stuff dry. Anyway, today I'd like to talk about violence in China. Is China violent? Well, there's a lot of people out there, a lot of media out there that says China is not a very safe place to be. Talk about gun violence. China, you don't see gun violence. It's unheard of. Canada, what do we have? Like about 1,300 gun deaths last year. And America, oh my God, America, what was it? I think they had 115,000 gun deaths last year. Well, I can only talk about what I know, so you just judge for yourself. So now I'd like you to take a pause here for a second, and down in the comments, tell me whether you thought or think China is violent. I'll just wait here for a second. Go ahead. You go ahead, hit that button. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Put a comment in there. Tell me about whether you think China is a violent place to be or whether it's safe. And I'll just sit here and just wait here for a second. Yeah. Pause it if you have to. All right, that's long enough. Okay, so my very first time in China, uh, like I said before, was an experience because I was expecting one thing, got something else. Now, I will be honest with you, when I went there, any big city gives you kind of a nervousness, if especially if you don't know where you're going, what you're doing, and the language. You don't know the language, that's even worse. Okay, but I live in a small little city, Kingston, Ontario. We're 120,000 people here. I walk around downtown and I feel relatively safe. We have, and it's growing, a fair number of homeless people on the street. And they can uh, get in your face, and you have to watch out for them. Some of them are not mentally well. So as long as you're keep your eyes open in that, it's fairly safe. Now about well, just before COVID hit, we had oh incidents here and there where you would have people who would do violent things on the street, but it wasn't that big a deal. Right in the middle of 2020 in the summer, we had a knifing right in the middle of the street where the guy just randomly ran around and started stabbing people. Now, this is a little city in Ontario, Canada. So that was an eye-opener. Then, if I was to walk around at night, I would stick to the main streets. I definitely wouldn't want to go past midnight. And a park, forget it. No way going anywhere near a park in the evening. I wouldn't let my daughters out to after 10 o'clock unless I knew where they were or whether they were escorted. And this is a small little town. So this is where I have my basis on. Okay? So I get to China, and my wife had a little dog, Ding Ding. And well, she wasn't my wife at the time, but so we were staying in her gated community. Now her gated community was 120,000 strong. So it was a fairly big place. And with China, you can go out downtown all over the frickin' place. Shops are open midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. It's crazy. Uh, we went to a bar, and it was coming up at 1 o'clock, and I said, well, we better get some beers in here for last call. And the girls laughed at me, and they said, what do you mean last call? And I said, well, did they have it on open a little later than 1 o'clock here? And this is Guangzhou. And the one girl laughs at me, Christy. She goes, yeah, it's open till 6 in the morning. 6. Oh my goodness. So anyway, so we're downtown and we're shopping and we're going out for beers. And literally, we didn't get home till 2 o'clock. Now the whole time that I was down during the bar scene and the restaurant scene along the riverbanks and that, I didn't feel nervous because there was lots and lots of people out. So I felt that it was safe. And I don't think these girls would have taken me anywhere where they felt unsafe. So that's my first impression of whether I felt safe in China or not. So then we went home. And when we got home, it was like 2:15, almost 2:30 in the morning. And Na says to me, she goes, well, you need to take Ding Ding out for a walk. Excuse me? She says, yeah, you need to take Ding Ding out for a walk. I said, it's 2:30 in the morning. I said, where the hell do you want me to walk a dog at 2:30 in the morning? She said, take him down to the park. I said, are you crazy? I said, I'm not going to a park at 2:30 in the morning. She says, I do it all the time. I said, get out of here. She says, yeah, take the dog for a walk. Okay, so grab the dog, go downstairs, and sure enough, I go outside, and I'm kind of nervous, and I'm looking around, and my head's on a swivel, and I'm like, I walk to the end of the street where the park was, and I see somebody on the other side of the street. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I realize they've got a dog. Oh, okay. So I go off into the park. I pass the person with the dog. They say hello, ni hao to me. I say hello to them back. I start wandering in the park. Now, this is a park that was very well treed, and it had pathways all through it. And it had little pavilion areas and little ponds and things like this all through the park. And it had street lights and that. I met probably half a dozen people with dogs, taking their dogs for a walk. Every one of them said hello, all the rest of it. I came out the one end and I started to walk back, and there was a little shop. It's open, 2:30 in the morning. I go over to the shop. I buy myself a can of beer, of all things, and I start walking back. And now I'm walking back on the streets. I meet 2 or 3 other people, some of them going to work, some of them coming home from work, some coming home from parties. They all said hello. They all were very nice. And I get back to the apartment, and I come up, and she goes, so, did you have any problems? And I was like, no, I didn't have any problems. She goes, you're not going to either. I said, really? She says, yeah, no, it's very, very safe. So, that's my opinion on whether it's safe or not. Now, this was, again, I was only in one city at that time. Now, since then, I had been to Beijing, Shanghai, Xi'an, Luoyang, Yangtze. I've been to all of those. All of them, we were out late at night. All of them, nothing. Never saw any violence. Never occurred to me to even be worried. Now, I will say that we went to Beijing one time right after the terrorist attack at Tiananmen Square. I think we were there about 2 months after it happened. And that was the first time that I actually saw a military type presence with guards with machine guns protecting the area. To get into the Forbidden City was directed. You couldn't just haphazardly cross the road and go in. You had to follow a certain route. You had to go through metal detectors. Your bags were searched. The security was quite good on it. So again, I felt safe, even though that had been a terrorist activity in that area prior to that. So I haven't experienced anything on the way of violence myself. Now, when you think about the Western cities, the Western world, North America, the EU, Britain, that's all you see on the TVs at night is violence, riots, killings, stabbings, murders. You don't see that. Now, I'm not saying that there's not that there. I read an article the other day about a 19-year-old Chinese boy that killed his mother with a dumbbell because he wanted the insurance money of 1.2 million RMB he was going to get. This happens all over the world. You're going to have people that do that kind of thing. There's one group of YouTubers that led on to believe that your children are not safe in China because you'll get them knifed. Somebody will come along, they don't have a lot of guns, but they'll use the knives on them. Well, let's see if I got it here. I looked up how many total violent deaths there were in China in 2018, because that was the only year that I could get up to now. In 2018, there was 7,525 total violent deaths out of 1.4 billion people. Of that, 4% were gun violence. That means 301 people died from a gun out of 1.4 billion. Over 400 people died on July 4th weekend in the America. Crazy. Knife violence is 42%. 3,160 people died from a knife. Okay. Physical violence was 54%. 4,063 people died from random violence. Again, this is out of 1.4 billion people. Okay. America's got 313 million people, or 330 million people. Okay, and their violence is off the charts. Like I said, over 100,000 people. And that was just gun violence. That didn't say any kind of violence. That was just gun violence. Canada, I mean, we only have 36 million people in all of Canada. And we had 1,300 people die. And in China, with 4 times the population of America, they only had 7,525 violent deaths. So you choose. Let me know in the comments what you think. Is it a violent society, or is media the problem? Anyway, thanks a lot. Hit subscribe. I'm trying to keep these things short because 28 minutes and now it's getting a little ridiculous. So the next one I'm going to tell you about my first date, flying from Canada to China. So that one will be a little more interesting. Anyway, take care.